Hi Fantasy Managers, welcome to FPL Team Talks. In this video we're going to go through a review of game week 1. It is finally over. It felt like a whistle-stop tour. All done and dusted in a couple of days. We're going to look at how we got on, have a look at some of the best performing players in game week 1. Then we're going to have a look at what's the best performing predicted players for the next few weeks. And we're going to end up looking at our mini league, a bit of a new feature. One of my favourite features already. So if you haven't clicked on subscribe, make sure you do so now. Make sure you hit that like button and let's get on with it. So the Premiership season kicked off on Friday night with that Arsenal versus Palace game. Seems like a long time ago now, and ended with Manchester City. Same result, away from home, a 2-0 victory. So two good performances. Sandwiched in between those, we had loads of goals. Not a goalless draw in sight. In fact, only two draws in all, and they were 2-all games. So wonderful game to get, wonderful weekend to get us started with the Premiership football. Highest non-penalty expected goals. So these sometimes don't tally up with how many points your players get. You might be expected to have got so many points given the chances. Doesn't always add up. Haaland, no, he was expected to get 1.54 goals. He obviously got more, including his penalty. So he had a really good weekend. If you were on Haaland, 13 points, you'd be really pleased with a difficult fixture for Man City away at West Ham. If you own him, you're looking pretty good right now with Bournemouth at home. Pascal Gross, he had great stats as well. Away at Manchester United getting that brace. Martinelli played really nicely against Palace. He had good stats. And Callum Wilson as well, one there sneaking under the radar a little bit in pre-season. 0.72 was his expected non-penalties goals. Looking elsewhere then at assists-wise, another one that we just not really talked about. One assist he picked up, so only 6 points. But expected assists in his game against Wolves, 0.67, right up there. Zinchenko had 0.63, Welbeck with 0.62, and Kulusevski up there. Remember, he got on the score sheet as well, but this is just purely assists, 0.59. So Harrison, only at 6 million. Fixtures don't look too bad away at Southampton. Maybe a team you want to target. Maybe want to be on the radar. He looks quite good position right now. Highest non-penalties then for expected goal involvement overall. Okay, we've already talked about Haaland being on 1.45. Gross is right up there as well with his 15-point haul at Manchester United. I don't think any of us saw that coming. Haaland in terms of expected goals, including penalties, 2.38. Right up there. Mitrovic's figures look really good as well. Danny Welbeck, 0.97. Gross, 5.5. I'd imagine his ownership is really, really low. I don't know. I didn't see any teams with him in. And I think with good reason, away at Manchester United, you would not expect Pascal Gross to bring in those points. Remember, he's on penalties as well. So maybe we should be paying a bit more attention to him. Value players then. Players to pick out from the stats over the weekend. He only got 8 points, but Martinelli played really well. 6 million, remember. As an alternative and a cheaper version of Saka, a lot of people went for him. Not sure he's going to outscore Saka over the course of the season. But you know what? For 6 million, he just is a good enabler. Someone who looks nailed in the Arsenal side who look really good. Great fixtures. He's definitely someone to start considering. Elsewhere, we talked about Wilson and Kulusevski. But look at Sessegnon. For a 0.63 for £4.5 million wingback playing for Tottenham. He looks like a great value for money as well. I suppose the big question is he going to get minutes with the likes of Doherty and Perisic coming back in, threatening his place, and even talked about how much advice and valued sort of pieces of advice that Perisic has given him. So I'm just not sure about his minutes, but for Sessegnon, if you had him as well, great start to the season for Sessegnon. So those are the value players. Let's take a look now at some of those predicted points for the next 5 games. So if you don't know, check out fplform.com. They will give you their predicted points and expected goals for the next 5 games. We look at defenders, no real surprise. With those fixtures, you look at Trent, 7.5 million, the most expensive defender in the game. 36 points he's expected to get, and you can see why. 3 home games against Palace, Bournemouth and Newcastle, followed by Everton, and even that Man U game. We all know what happened there last year. That looks really a nice set of fixtures. Talk about nice fixtures. I don't think you can get much better than what Cancelo's got. So he's the next highest expected player. Bournemouth, Palace, Nottingham Forest. Good fixtures for him. And John Matip, wow, he's gone under the radar a little bit. He's played a lot of Premiership games last year. Perhaps he's someone we should be paying a bit more attention for. Away into that Liverpool defence at 6 million. Great fixtures, as we've seen already. He's the third next highest expected point scoring player. Let's have a look at midfielders next. Mo Salah, we're not going to dwell on that too much because we know what he can do, and he had a great start against Fulham. Hummingson, good fixtures. There's one perhaps coming up against Chelsea that you wouldn't necessarily be targeting. But other than that, you've got Nottingham Forest, you've got Wolves and Fulham. Decent set of fixtures for him. And KDB with Haaland up front now. They've already linked up a couple of times against West Ham. Great fixtures. 12 million. They're all expensive options, but they are the next 5 games expected to score more points than anyone else. What about up front then? Harry Kane, obviously that Chelsea game coming up, that will be tricky, you'd expect. I think you've got Haaland there, Erling Haaland. Again, great fixtures. Would you bet on Haaland outscoring Kane in that period? You have to say on the balance of play at the moment, what we've seen this weekend, possibly you would back at the same price. Be interesting to see if Haaland remains 11.5 or will he have gone up overnight. And finally, Ronaldo, if he starts playing, his fixtures look okay. It kind of feels like just the lack of other options you've got up front, that Ronaldo's in there. He doesn't feel like a particularly good option at this moment in time, given his predicament, whether he wants to stay, what's going to happen. So away at Brentford, away at Southampton, a couple of decent fixtures, you'd have to say 10.5 million. He seems a bit expensive, but he's the third most highest predicted forward for the next 5 games. Let's have a look at how I got on this week then. 66 points. It's a reasonable start to the season, so it's pretty solid. We had Ramsdale on the bench. I think it's really important, a piece of advice, I think, over playing FPL for just such a long period of time. Just don't beat yourself up about decisions. We had Martinelli, Zinchenko in a lot of drafts. Do you know what? We changed it around. I got Dalot, I brought Saka in. It just seemed like a sensible decision. The fact that it hasn't paid off dividends yet in terms of points, I'm not going to beat myself up about it. Ramsdale got 6 points. Wall got 1. Leicester more likely to have a clean sheet at home to Brentford than Arsenal were to away at Palace. Yeah, I absolutely think they did. So I don't think that was a bad call. Just didn't work out. Walker got me the clean sheet. That was really pleasing. James 7 points. Salah, really nice to nail the captaincy. Saka did get a sort of fortunate assist, and Haaland, as we all know, he really blitzed it last week. So overall rank, not really that important at the moment. 66 points, solid, not spectacular, certainly not a disaster, and the side looks in pretty good shape, I'd say, for next week. So this is it without making any changes. I will be making a few changes though in terms of who's going to come in. Ramsdale at home to Leicester will definitely come in, and I think the captaincy for me will go on Haaland. I think Man City at home to Bournemouth, that just could get a little bit messy. I think Palace will certainly perform better than I expect Bournemouth to do, despite their great result against Villa. I just think Haaland's the obvious choice. I'm not intending on making any transfers. I'm going to roll it over. Sterling was expensive, but he blanked. But I thought he played really well against Tottenham. He might not pick anything up, but I'm still going to be patient and keep him in the side. Jesus looked fantastic. If there's one change possibly I'd make, maybe it was Dalot. That Man United defence looks a little bit... not really convinced about them, so Dalot is a bit of a worry for me. But you know what? I haven't set this side up to make any knee-jerk reactions. I've always intended on carrying over a transfer, and that is what I'll do. Bailey, he will stay in against Everton. I'm quite happy with that. And on the bench, I've got Andreas, who could come in. I could drop Dalot if I think Brentford are going to score. That's a possibility. We'll look at that later in the week. But otherwise, I'm pretty happy with where side's shaping up. Okay, finally, let's have a look at our mini league. This is one of the most interesting segments of our show, I think. It's been really interesting. So we have a joint first place. Don't expect to have too many joints for the rest of the season. Obviously, the ceiling and the floor are a lot sort of closer together. So 78 points, some really good performances this week. Hybrids, Flyers, All Out Attack and Dothrakis are top of the table. Let's have a quick look at their side. So all of them are going to be on overall rank of 386,786. Some interesting players in it. Mendy, the fact that you've got the top score here, and Williams is in there. Trent 1 point, 78 points they come up with. Trippier 7, Martinelli did well with that. One common thing about all of these teams is I think they all have Haaland in from memory. They've all captained Salah as well. So if you've captained Salah, you've got to be there or thereabouts. Haaland, Neto didn't perform. This side, Salah, Haaland and Kane with Jesus looks really strong this side. I like it. Got a lot of presence. Can't really fault much. None of these sides went for James, which was interesting as well. I wonder if that's going to perhaps bite you unless you're looking to bring him in the future with Chilwell and James. Don't know Zinchenko, what a great call. Looked at him in a lot of depth. But Dothrakis, well done, you're top. And joint top with him, we have Hybrids Flyers, 78 points as well. Went Matty Cash there. Ward, we all know about him. We talked about him already. Kulusevski, what a good buy that was. Haaland, and again, captaincy Salah. Trippier, another Trippier in there as well. Martinelli got really good with that one. That's nice. Robinson and Trent, so even though doubled up on that Liverpool defence, still ended up with 78 points. That looks really good. And they've got a great fixture next weekend as well. So, Hybrids Fires looking in a really nice position. And then our last team, all out attack. Again, Trent not returning, but James got the points with James. Doubling up on that Man City defence. Cancelo and Ederson, that looks good. Perisic, bit of a pain coming in, getting 1 point off the bench. Luis Diaz didn't really find it. Neto, but again, Haaland, again, Zinchenko there, and captain in Salah. So really nice. Well done, guys. Let's see which one of you three is going to be top next week, and we'll go through the side. Or is someone else going to outperform you? I think every week I love going through these, having a look at your sides, and maybe we'll pick out who's top and who's had the best week, just to see what sort of strategies and what teams you guys are selecting. That's it for this one then, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you hit that like button. Makes a big difference to us. Make sure you subscribe. We'll be back on later on in the week to give you a watch list before our team selection on Friday. So let me know in the comments below how you got on this weekend. Love to hear from you. In the meantime, take care. Good luck. Speak to you soon.